Hey guys, RC Peck here with Fearless Wealth, and I want to talk to you about Bitcoin and gold. And the reason why this matters to you is even if you're not going to trade Bitcoin or gold, it's going to show you how to use price to determine where you should be investing your money. So whether you want to be a trader or a long-term investor, which I actually don't believe those two are as different as people think. But what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you what's going on with Bitcoin today. I'm going to show you what's going on with gold today. And this relates back to, because if you own gold or if you own Bitcoin, or if you've thought about the US dollar falling because someone told you it's falling and you should be worried about that, then this is going to show you, do I put my money in Bitcoin or do I put my money in gold, or do I put a little bit between the two, or how do I determine? And why this matters and what you're going to get from this is to really start to understand you put your money and you help your portfolio grow by knowing which category, which type, which symbol is moving higher. So it's going to help you get detached from what you own, and it's going to help you get attached to growing your portfolio. So let's jump into it. Let me go over and do a screen share so you can see what I'm looking at. I'm going to start with gold here. And let me just, so I'm going to start with gold, and this is a price chart going back 3.5 years. It's the closing price of gold. This is the gold index. So this one happens to be priced in US dollars, but what I'm saying is it's not a tracking symbol. So just a couple things I'm noticing on the chart. First of all, gold stopped falling or started moving up in August of 2018. So you can see that nice uptrend there. And we're going to talk about this here too. Its old lifetime high was where those two blue lines are. So right at about 1900, that was its daily close. It actually hit $1,921 intraday, but it closed at $1,900. So when gold finally pushed through the $1,900 mark, it really pushed through it, because it pushed through it up to about almost 2,080. But then when it broke through, a lot of people came in and sold their gold positions. That's called supply. So when gold broke out to a new lifetime high, people came in, they remembered 2011, and they sold their gold position. So right now what gold is doing, and actually let me zoom out as I talk about gold, then I'm going to move over to Bitcoin and compare the two of them. So if you look at this price chart here, this is a 10.5-year price chart of gold. Now, if you live in another part of the world, I almost said part of the country, you'll want to price your gold in your local currency to see how it's doing. It'll most likely look different than this. But you can see over here, I'm looking over here, you can see that the old high was right there. But what I also want you to notice is gold had a hard time in 2011 and 2012 staying above $1,800. Where the blue lines are right now, that's right about $1,800. And you can see these 3, 1, 2, 3 price points where gold couldn't get back above 1,800. It got above it here, but it couldn't sustain itself above 1,800. Then it tried one more time. So that would be the second try, the third try, and the fourth try, and it just couldn't get back above 1,800. Fast forward to 2019, you had the first attempt here to get even close to 1,800, which is right there, and this didn't do it. And then finally, when gold did break above 1,800, and my eyes are over here, it broke right through the 1,800, and it broke right through the 1,900. So there was a lot of demand going into that. Now, look, guys, during this time period, now the COVID crash only lasted 30 days, but there was a lot of instability, call it from March 1st to July, August 1st. And so one of the first things you should know, whether it's about, I certainly say this about gold, because gold's been around and getting traded and used for value for about 5,000 years with humans. So it's been around. It's the longest asset or investment we've really ever probably had, maybe land being the first. So gold spiked when concern was high about the future. And since August, it's been coming down. Now, the first question was, will it stay above 1900? And at first, it looked like it was going to stay above 1900. Again, the two blue lines kind of just give you a little frame of where that 1900 is. And then gold has fallen down. So now the big question on my mind is, can gold stay above the 1800? Now, what I'm doing here and why this matters to you and your portfolio, even if you don't want to invest in gold, is I'm just kind of showing you how where you find these resistance and support zones, that tells you a lot about where sellers or buyers may show up, right? So if you're long gold, you want buyers to show up when the price of gold goes over $1,800, not back here where sellers showed up every time it really touched the 1800. So here's gold in 2020. It moved high. Okay, beginning of the year to August, it was up 32%. It's fallen back down about 13%, so 1/3 of its move. And it's broken below that lifetime high back in 2011, and it's still above that 1800. If I had to say which one was more important, probably staying above the 1800 is more important than staying above the 1900. My concern with gold is the dollar has weakened over the last few months, and so has gold. So typically you'd want to see gold strengthen if the US dollar is weakening, and that's not happening. And I think part of the reasons it's not happening is because of the stock markets around the world. Gold ultimately fell back here. If you look back here, go back to 2013. Let me just put the two blue vertical lines on 2013 so you can see it. Gold fell in 2013. Now, one of the things that happened in 2013 is the stock markets in the US and around the world broke out to new lifetime highs. And so one of my thoughts with gold and it breaking down and not being able to stay above 1900, and we'll see how it does to stay above 1800, is can this stay above the 18 and the 1900 as stocks around the world, especially non-US stocks, because they've been going sideways for about 2 to 3 years, depending on where you're looking in the world, but they are all now breaking out to new highs. So gold tried to break out to new lifetime highs and stay there, and it hasn't. Okay, so that's a lot on gold. I first zoomed in, and I'm showing you the price activity. Now, what this really is the hundreds of millions of people behind gold. Gold is the second most traded commodity on the planet just after oil, and gold actually trades more than any currency on the planet. So it is a very, very liquid investment. One kind of interesting thing about gold, GLD, let me just zoom really far back. I'm going to put in GLD. GLD is a tracking symbol that you can buy. GLD came out in 2005, right there. And it made it easy for people to buy gold, right? You didn't have to drive to your local dealer, look at coins and baseball cards to get some gold. You could literally just buy a ticker symbol GLD, and you could own precious metals. So having access to gold in an easy way, in a liquid way, I think was a big part of why gold moved so far. Now, it had already moved from 2001, before this 2005, but having GLD invented really made it easier for people to buy gold. Okay, so that's gold right now. This video is about gold versus Bitcoin. Now, let me bring up Bitcoin here. Now, this is a Bitcoin index, so you cannot invest directly in this. And I want to zoom back into the 3.5 year where we were with gold. So look at this. This is Bitcoin. Okay, now this category or this instrument has only been around 10 years. I don't believe Bitcoin is a new asset class. If anything, it's maybe a new currency or a new technology. But it's not a new asset class because we don't invent new asset classes. We have stocks, bonds, cash, real estate, commodities. So Bitcoin can maybe be in 1 or 2 or 3 of those. Okay, now here's what's interesting about Bitcoin and just comparing Bitcoin and gold. So Bitcoin's old high is right there. I'm back here in 2017, at the end of 2017. And let's just call that old let's just call it $19,000 for easy math. Look what happened in the last week. It hit that lifetime high. It didn't even get above it. Like with gold just moved right through the $1,900 price point and went almost to $2,100. But with Bitcoin, it probably touched that 19,334, whatever its intraday is. It touched it intraday, and then sellers came in. So to me, what's interesting, one of the first interesting things is gold broke out to new lifetime highs in August of this year, and then has come back below those lifetime highs and is really just kind of maybe either at best digesting, or at worst, with the stock market breaking out to new lifetime highs, people are thinking, if my stock market money is doing well, then maybe I don't need gold, right? Because I believe the only reason people buy gold is if they believe the world is getting more unsafe or more stable. But now here's Bitcoin going out to attempt to get to a new lifetime high, and it actually fails, right? It gets denied, and it's down about 12% from its lifetime high. So within 4 months of each other, gold breaking out to new lifetime highs can't sustain. Bitcoin 4 or 5 months later attempting to break out to new lifetime highs. And right now, its first attempt, it's been denied. Now, if Bitcoin was going to come back somewhere to see if there's more buyers, it would come back to this range right here. Because if you look at the chart, it couldn't get above this $12,000 mark back here in 2018, couldn't stay above it in 2019. When it tried to get above it in 2020, it got denied. But finally, it's finally broken above, we're just going to call that the $12,000 zone. So the question now is, can Bitcoin stay above $12,000? So the first thing I want to do is just compare them both to you and show you what they do. It's very likely if you're under 30, your gold is Bitcoin, right? And if you're over 60, your gold is gold. So there is this generation gap. And I did keep a lot of space between the under 30 and 60 and older. But it very well could be that if you're 60 and older, you would buy gold. And if you're 30 and under, or probably even 40 and under, you'd buy Bitcoin. And here's the thing, guys, this is not a religion. I got hurt because I actually thought gold was a religion, and I didn't listen to the price charts, and I lost money and I lost clients because I didn't listen to the price charts. And so the biggest takeaway from this video that I want you to get is listening to the price charts and listening to what they're telling you is most important. Okay. If you want to choose which one to own, then I believe you should own the stronger one. So all I'm going to do is take gold, and instead of pricing gold in US dollars, this price chart here prices gold in Bitcoin. So kind of neat, huh? If the line is going higher, if the black line is going higher, what that's telling you is gold is outperforming Bitcoin. Gold is outperforming Bitcoin. Right. So if you want to own gold, you want to own it as this alternative category, this non-fiat currency, this non-stock market, like this completely different thing. And if you don't know whether you should do gold or Bitcoin, right, one of the things you want to do is see how they're both priced in each other's currency. So on the screen here, this is gold priced in Bitcoin. Very interesting. And you can see here, right there, gold really broke down. So for me, what I'm most curious about, let me just zoom out just a little bit. Let me just zoom out 5.5 years. So what I'm most curious about is gold greatly underperformed Bitcoin coming into 2017, right? And then gold started kind of, holding its own against Bitcoin. Like they went back and forth. Can you guys see that? Like Bitcoin, let me just do this. Let me show you this here. Like the US dollar and Bitcoin kind of had very similar strength right through here. Popped out, popped out, popped out. And so now here's gold really weakening to Bitcoin. And so the question I want to know is, it already broke that low. Is it going to break this low? And if it does, that's going to further stabilize the strength of Bitcoin as a mainstream category? Or does Bitcoin get turned back at this low here and gold starts strengthening? So one of the things you want to determine in regards to which one you're in is own the one that's stronger, right? If you're gonna want a different category in your portfolio, you want to own the strongest one. Okay, so now let me take Bitcoin and price it in gold. So look at the screen here. This is Bitcoin priced in gold. Okay, and so you see here, strengthening here. Bitcoin is strengthening to gold. Bitcoin again is strengthening to gold. Again, it's the same chart, but in reverse. So here's some things just to think about if you're going to look at gold and if you're going to look at Bitcoin. Fall in love with the price, not the asset, meaning if the price starts to turn against you, certainly if it turns against you relative to the stock market and relative to Bitcoin, you really want to question why you're owning it. Okay. The other thing too is notice which one is acting stronger when the dollar maybe starts to weaken or when the stock market starts to strengthen. Now, right now with the stock market strengthening, it's actually Bitcoin that's strengthening alongside it. But like I said to you, Bitcoin just hit its new lifetime or just hit the lifetime high and got denied, and it's down 12%. So as far as kind of pulling it all together, practice being detached. The way you do that is by looking at price charts first and training your brain to think more of, is my portfolio growing, and not am I being self-righteous about what I'm owning. Thanks so much, guys, for being in my world. Thank you for watching this video. It totally helps to go ahead and just give it the thumbs up. It helps the Google, YouTube algorithm, so please do that because it makes a difference. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, bye.